Dementia residents used to say, life is a learning curve, and we're living in a big community of old people here, everyone adjusting and adapting. And it's a big leap in life, living here, a new form of living, and it depends on your ability to adjust whether you can do it or not. Now, one of the army majors who lived at the unit explained to me this at length. He had dementia. He was living there as a dementia resident, though you wouldn't think so half the time. He was very highly intelligent, and he used to say, look, if you've adapted and adjusted to many circumstances in your life, then you will be able to do the same here. If you haven't, chances are you may not be able to. And he was very clear on this. He said, if you've travelled, if you've belonged to the forces, if you've been in front of classrooms of, children, school teaching all your life, or you've been a nurse in many hospitals, various experiences here and there, you will be able to adjust and adapt here, because you will bring along and take along all your experiences, lifelong experiences of adjusting and adapting, and bring that here to this place, to this unit, and you'll be able to adjust and adapt the same here. But he used to say that if though you've been brought up in a certain rural, or not necessarily rural, but a certain area, you've lived in the same house, the same street, with the same people all your life, married, the boy next door pretty much, so you've never been exposed to a larger range of people to get to know, then you haven't got those skills or that experience to be able to do that, because there's a vast range of people in a dementia unit. I mean, the cognition, the background, the experience, the culture is just, the full spectrum. And you need to be able to get on with everyone pretty much. I mean, your neighbour, the people you're sitting with at dining table, breakfast, lunch and dinner, at the activities, everyone's mixed together all day long. You haven't got a gentleman's club, an officers club, and various sections to go to. Everyone is in the same melting pot. So if you like people and you enjoy people, you'll be fine. But if you've led a fairly segregated life, it will be quite difficult. Now, this same gentleman from the military said to me that you really do need to learn how to get on the same wavelength as the other person, because he explained to me that there's some people here that can't communicate, who can think, but they can't communicate and they can't speak. They can't vocalize what they want to say. And these people need help. And he said that they used to come to him and ask for help. They'd come to him and he'd know that they were asking for help, even though they didn't verbalize that. And he said he'd try and understand what it was that they were trying to say. And he said sometimes you had to bring yourself down a couple of notches intellectually, a bit of a shame, he said, but never mind, important nevertheless. And he said you needed to get onto their same wavelength in terms of eye contact, their mental level, and what it was they were trying to say. And he said once you had their trust and you understood them, he used to say good morning to them every day. They knew him well. They knew they could go to him. And he said most of the time he was able to work out what it was they were trying to say. And then with that, he'd take that request to the nursing staff. That, of course, being the tough part, because nursing staff are so busy 24/7 every shift, they haven't often got time to go through all the requests of the residents. But even the process of him giving them his time, his care, and often he'd just come up with his own answers anyway. His standard answers were, "It's all right, love, everything's all right, we're all living here, we're one big family." And that seemed to tone half of them down. And then he'd say to the others, "Oh, he'll be coming to visit soon, your son, he'll be here soon, love, don't worry." Oh dear. He was remarkable, that man. I don't know where he got his strength from, but he did, as do many dementia residents in the unit. Hundreds, and as he said, thousands of years of experience in there. Of got 10 people of 100 years, or 11 or so, or 11 is it, 90-year-olds altogether, it's 1,000 years, whatever, pretty much. I mean, it's a lot of experience and a lot of wisdom. And even if you can just get a taste of that, which I learned so much from the dementia residents, so much. They really did teach me about socialization, just being good, kind, generous, decent citizens. I think that's what I learned from the most. And their ability to be able to adjust and adapt to living in a dementia unit. I mean, who can do that civilly? I don't know if the next generation will be able to. In fact, often the younger dementia residents do find it so much more difficult, of course, because they're younger. But I think too that this elderly generation, they've had to imbibe that abstemious nature with spending. They've needed to be frugal post-war years. They've got patience and tolerance. They've been through the hard yards, the hardships, and because of that, they've got that inner strength, and also they're very family-focused, community-focused, and so they bring that to the dementia unit. They bring that spirit of wanting to help the community and those that are more vulnerable, unwell, or disabled. They really do like to help them. Whether it's a Christian attitude or a community attitude or that generation's attitude, whatever it is, it's a good attitude, and it helps really in a dementia unit, bringing that harmony and stability. And I think that is what we can learn from this generation. Certainly we can learn, because they're valuable skills, because we never know what might happen to us in the future. We might have to adjust and adapt to the same degree. Hopefully we'll have these skills if we need to. So I've written about these at length in the two books, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise, about the residents in the first half, and the second half, the DIY, educational, positive, practical techniques to help these wonderful residents, because so much can be done to help them. And once they're settled and are set up, their lovely warm room and everything in the room they need, as explained in the books, and, you know, emotionally and settled and supported, and having the resources they need to have a quality filled life, and the exercise they need to get out as they need to, when all this is done, then, you know, all these wonderful treasures of wisdom, we can learn from them, because when they're in a good space, in a good state, they can and will communicate and make friends and establish a good community, and teach us as well their wisdom of lifelong years. So thank you for your support and likes, and please subscribe, and thank you for the subscriptions, those of you that have, and please pass on the links. Thank you.